I first met this man Plainside when he arrived to host, I do believe, the 2000 or 2001 ESPYs when I interviewed him for ESPN, and now he is on the Rich Eisen Show to talk about some sports and his new movie, The Legend of Tarzan, that premieres in theaters this Friday, July 1. He is Samuel L. Jackson. How are you, sir?
I'm awesome. How about yourself?
I'm doing fine. When you were hosting those ESPYs, who are the athletes you were excited to meet that you recall when you were doing that for ESPN, Samuel?
I think the first time I was on the show, I was really excited to actually meet Shamika Holtzclaw and Pat Summitt, which was awesome, because they were on the show. Because Tennessee won that year, and I got to meet, both those ladies, so it was great.
Yeah, because you're a Tennessee guy, and obviously, as we all know, Pat Summitt just passed away. What are your thoughts on recalling the all-time great coach, Samuel?
She did an amazing job. Was a pioneer in terms of raising the bar for lady coaches and coaches in general. She had a system that worked, and she was not only a great coach but a great mentor and friend to those girls, and a real mother figure. And that's something that people didn't really understand, how the sense of family creates a stronger team. And she understood that early on and made that part of her coaching style. It's kind of wonderful.
Did she mean anything personally to you when you met her, or any of your recollections of all that, Samuel?
Well, I was just very proud of the fact that, that we had a winning tradition in Tennessee women's basketball, and that she was the reason for it. And when I met her and had a conversation with her, I understood it. And even in her later years, my mom had Alzheimer's also, so I understood what her family was going through, and I empathized.
Samuel L. Jackson joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. Our poll question today, Samuel, is would you think less of Kevin Durant if he left Oklahoma City for Golden State, the team that just beat him? How would you answer that question?
No, man, it's a business. It's no different than what LeBron did or anybody else would do in that situation. You either want to win a championship and you think those guys can help you do it. Apparently, he can make the team better. Maybe not. I don't know. But, it's business. Sports is a business. You have to treat it that way. Unless he has some really emotional tie to Oklahoma City, hey, do what you think's best for you in your career.
How did you become a Spurs fan? Where'd that come from?
The fact that I met Tim and Tony and all those guys a long time ago, and I like them, and I really like Coach Pop, and what he achieves with, the kind of talent he has, and how he has a team that really operates like a team. It's not a bunch of individual stars that, shine on a day in, day out basis, but a lot of people coming together to make something work.
So with Tim Duncan returning or not, do you think Durant would be a good fit if he shows up there in San Antonio?
I'm sure Coach Pop will find a way to use him expeditiously. Yeah.
Expeditiously. I like that. That sounded something out of a Tarantino movie right there, Samuel. I realized too that in the Legend of Tarzan, we've got you and Christoph Waltz. That's basically two guys right straight out of the Tarantino starting lineup, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
The two of you guys.
Sure.
It's like,
and we're the only two people in the film who play real historic figures.
Okay.
My guy is real and Christoph's guy is real.
And your guy is
George Washington Williams,
right?
The first African American to go into the Congo to expose King Leopold's atrocities.
Is that part of the reason why you chose this role?
No. Part of the reason I chose, I guess yeah, partially, but mostly it's a Tarzan movie. I grew up watching Tarzan movies, and shamelessly, I say I actually choose some movies because they're movies I would have gone to see when I was a kid.
And that's one of them right here you're talking about.
Totally. Come on. I saw enough Tarzan movies growing up and wanted to be in them, or imagined I was in one, or imagined we were in the jungle and swinging on vines and running from different dangerous things.
So
Totally. I also chose the King Kong movie that's coming out next year for the same reason.
for the same. So if I gave you a choice of a current, let's just say, TV show that they made it into a movie, which one would you say? You know what? I'd be in that because I love that TV show. Which one would you choose?
Oh, Game of Thrones.
Love it. What do you love about Game of Thrones?
Wow. The storylines, the intrigue, the high adventure. I mean, I always like things that take place in faraway lands that are, different and interesting and have a lot of colorful characters in them.
Who's your favorite character in Game of Thrones?
Tyrion Lannister.
Why is that?
Well, actually, it's actually between him and Arya Stark because her character arc has been really awesome. You take a little girl who was really a kid when all this stuff started happening, who gets separated from her folks, who's learned and grown and become as cold and calculated as anybody can become in a world at her age. It's like awesome. Her character arc's been great.
And Tyrion Lannister, just because of what he's become and
because of who he is, how smart he is, how his worldview is, and because if there was an inferior race that everybody thinks of by looking at him, like people look at some people and go racially, I mean, they're not as good as me, or they're not as smart as me, or they're not whatever. He's that guy.
And last Sunday, I mean, the series finale, that might have been the best episode of Game of Thrones ever, Samuel.
No, it was good. The one on the week before was good. The Bastard War was good.
The Bastard War.
That episode last year with the
White Walkers. Yeah,
come on, man, come on.
Yeah,
the one this season was good. I mean, the Hodor episode, awesomely dope.
Yeah, that was awesomely dope. What's your favorite character that you've played?
Ever?
Yeah.
Mitch Hennessy in Long Kiss Goodnight.
Why you choose that one?
He's that private eye guy that we watch forever in TV shows and in movies who wants to be brave but is a little bit not so much, a little inept, but when the time comes for him to step up, he does step up.
Samuel Jackson joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. In the couple minutes I have left with you, take me onto the golf course with you. How competitive are you in a golf course?
Pretty competitive out there, yeah.
Okay. How so? I mean, do you give out strokes? Do you keep an eye on your
opponent? I play by the rules. I mean, if a guy has a higher handicap or than mine, I'll give him his shots. Or if I got somebody supposed to give me shots, I want them. Mm-hmm. But it's the perfect game for me. I'm an only child, and playing team sports growing up, everybody blames somebody else. It's kind of like last year, some people saying, hey, I didn't have a bench, But golf is that one game where there's nobody playing defense. It's just you, a ball sitting still, waiting on you to move it a certain distance in a certain direction. And you get all the credit for the great shot, you get all the credit for the bad shot, and I can handle that.
And sometimes the ball moves when you don't intend it to, like Dustin Johnson. What did you think of that whole USGA ruling that happened at the Open, Samuel?
He hadn't grounded his club.
That was something, too, that they wouldn't make the ruling in real time, though. That was the thing.
Yeah, well, come on. It's the USGA. They can't think that fast. They don't actually think on their feet.
What do you think? Well, they should be able to, wouldn't you think, though, Sam?
You would think so, but, I mean, it's a simple ruling. I mean, everybody's standing there. I mean, the guy he's playing with, who's a professional, who has integrity, also says, hey, it wasn't his fault. So for them to look at some tape and go, yeah, you grounded your club, and it would have been a tragedy for that to happen to him again if that stroke had really meant something in terms of him winning or losing,
Do you think we're going to see Tiger win again, ever, Samuel?
Win what?
A tournament of any sort.
A tournament of any sort?
Yeah, I mean.
don't know, man. I've had a couple of back surgeries myself.
Exactly.
You're never the same after that. So I don't know. I would be amazed. He would be a Superman if that happened, Mm-hmm. So we'll see.
And before I let you go, what do you think of your Falcons, the chances of trying to at least take the division back from Cam and move forward in 2016? What do you think of that, Samuel?
I don't know if they made any upward moves more than, I'd say, lateral moves in the offseason. So I'm not so sure.
Okay. So then which team do you think is still the best in the NFL if you had to choose one for the 2016 Super Bowl? Who would you choose?
I'd be wary of, Seahawks' revenge factor this year because they should have played better. They had a chance to be better, and they weren't.
Yeah. Russell Wilson is going to take another step forward, I do believe. So
I would hope so.
Yeah, so in theaters near you on July 1st, Tarzan, in a theater near you, The Legend of Tarzan, where you play a real-life character, and Christoph Waltz plays the bad guy, and Tarzan goes back in after he's already been domesticated, right? Goes back in and tries to right some wrongs. That's
exactly.
that's what the movie's all about. Well, I look forward to seeing it, Samuel. Thank you for calling into the show. You bet. You got it.
All right, man.
You
Take
got
care.
it. That's it. That's Samuel Jackson here on The Rich Eisen Show.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.